All right, time for BGL week 2. Let's just hop right in. All right. First thought is southeast, just based on the trees. GF, I should know what that stands for. I should know what that stands for. I've seen trash cans like that before in GeoGuessr. I don't remember what GFL stands for. Also, I'm hoping the recording isn't laggy. It might be. Here's hoping. I think what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to put this in Atlanta. Creekmore and Mossy Brook. I think I'm just going to put this in Atlanta and call it good. What would you... Maybe the G stands for Georgia. That could be the case. It could be like Georgia something. Like, I don't have a clear line of sight on license plates, really. Not with that kind of glare. That's not a South Carolina plate, is it? I don't think so. I think I'm just tripping. Yeah, I think I'll just rip the guess in Atlanta. Sweet. Alright, cool. Great start. Round 2. Obviously, this is going to be out west. Is it just Cali? I want to say this is Los Angeles. There's some stuff in the distance. I think I'm just going to put it in the Los Angeles area and just call it good. For, like, lack of... Clear enough line of sight on that license plate to where I feel good about the California guess. Yeah, I think I will just go with Los Angeles and just... I think I'm just going to rip it. I'm just kind of... there's still a minute left. I'm just kind of looking around right now to try to see if there's anything else that could clue me in at all that I just didn't notice. No, I'm just going to keep my marker where I have it in the Los Angeles area. Alright, it was a lot further south. Okay. I'm just thinking, like, was there any way for me to be able to figure that out, that it was further south? You know what, I can't really have any regrets about my guess. At the end of the day, it was still a good guess. I don't see any circumstances where I would have guessed that far south. Round 3. Area code. 732, I don't think I actually know that. I know a lot of area codes, but not all of them. That looks like a New Jersey plate. Is this really New Jersey? Dude, I would have never guessed New Jersey. I would have guessed, like, Minnesota before New Jersey, dude. I'm just trying to see, what part of New Jersey would this be? Like... Do we see any, like... I don't think we see any road signs. I mean, that would be nice to see the other side of that sign, but, you know. What part of New Jersey would this be? Do we see any other license plates, like a New York plate or a Pennsylvania plate, that could potentially... Okay. No front plate on that car. I'm going to take that information and think that we're closer to Pennsylvania than we are New York. This does not feel right. I mean, it has to be New Jersey. Those are clearly New Jersey license plates. Let me try to look at stuff in the distance again, just to see. State. I don't feel good about this. I know it's New Jersey, but, like, what part of New Jersey is this going to be? Okay. It was more, like, towards the coast. So when I say that I didn't feel good about that guess, it was more like I had no clue what part of New Jersey it would be, because that did not look like New Jersey. But, I mean, the guess worked out. It's like my Los Angeles guess with the previous round. Like, I can't be upset about, like, 4.6. Round 4. Is this just Hawaii? I think those are, like, the mountains on Oahu. Mountains, volcanoes, I don't know what they are. I just work here. I like how I'm staring at the street signs as if that's going to help me. Is this Oahu? I mean, it's obviously Hawaii. Wait, does that say property of the something Honolulu? I think, because I know the Honolulu area has trash bins that say, like, all that. I'm gonna assume that's what that is. Mountains North, a neighborhood on a hill like that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever noticed it anyway. There's something to our northeast as well, like right there, and to our southeast. You know what? All right, let me go Unga Bunga mode, stare at the street signs, and try to find Nomilo and Hana something in this general area, maybe. But I'm probably not going to find anything, but, you know, it's worth a shot. I feel like it would be a little bit further. Let me move my marker a little bit. All right, let's just see. Where is it? Okay. I guess that's why it looked a little bit... I don't want to say it looked off, but... I mean, I really should have known that the mountains to the north looked more like these. So I really should have put it like where these guys put their markers. That would have probably been a lot smarter in hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. Why am I complaining about 4.9? All right, round 5. Let's go. And this is where it falls apart. I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be a great round. All right. Southeast roulette. I mean, okay, we're kind of in the Appalachian Mountains. I feel like the smart place to put it would be like around there, maybe. Let me try not to overthink this too much. Because, like, yeah, we see there's no front plate there. No front plate, Appalachian Mountains. It can't be that far north. It's not. I highly doubt it would be Pennsylvania or West Virginia. I doubt it would be Kentucky, Tennessee, or North Carolina, maybe. It really feels like it would be this kind of area where I have my marker roughly. And I kind of want to put it in like a very specific area. Where is Collinsville? I kind of want to put it right there. Because I've got a buddy who lives in that general area. And his last name is Smith. No, I should really put it a bit further north. I should put it a little bit further north. The smart thing to do would be put it a little bit further north. Why am I still just like sitting here thinking? I guess I'm just trying to mentally process this still. Clearly mountainous area. I'll just put it right there. It's gonna be further north, isn't it? It was a lot further north. Yeah, I kind of hindsight's 2020. I should not be complaining. 4.4 is fine. I should have put it more like Chattanooga. What am I doing? As soon as I hit the space bar, I was like, it's gonna be further north. But I mean, that was still a really good game. All my scores I feel like were pretty damn good. What was my final score? 23.4. Hell yeah. So where's that put me? I see in the top right. Am I third place overall right now? I am third place right now. How many people have played this? 21? All right. So I guess that seed was like... I don't want to say easy necessarily, but... It felt like with basically all of them, there was something I could work... Was there a clue with the first one, or did I just like Unga Bunga Atlanta? I think it was just, yeah, the GFL trash bins. I guess that stands for Georgia... something. So I guess the first one was kind of just vibes. Oh, what was the second one? The second one was also kind of just vibes, but I feel like with 1 and 2, with number 2 in particular, the vibes kind of felt like pretty obvious. Number 3, it was really just a license plate. Number 4 was Hawaii. That was a pretty easy one. I really should have put my marker a little bit further north than number 5. I've really got to like stop complaining though, because I mean I'm number 3 on the seed so far. This was a really good round. This was a really good week for me. I should not be complaining. We'll just have to see how my results stack up against everyone else's when everything's said and done. Because we've only had 21 people play so far. There's still like last week we had 37. There's still plenty of people left remaining. So we'll have to see how they do. And with that in mind, with the magic of editing, a week has passed. Let's see how everyone else did. So I ended up getting, I believe 7th. Yeah, 7th out of 37 in this seed. So that's pretty cool. Let's break these down. Round 1. Was this the round where there was just the little trash can that I guess a lot of people probably recognize as being in Georgia? I have to double check this. It's been a while. Yeah, that's what this round was. Yeah. All right, so we had a bunch of people get the Atlanta area for this one. If I recall correctly, there weren't really any other clues on that one. It was just kind of, you kind of tell it was southeast, and maybe people recognize that trash bin potentially. But yeah, makes sense that we would have a lot of guesses in Atlanta, just because Atlanta is a really common place to get in geoguessr. Round 2. Right, this was SoCal. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah. I think the only thing that surprised me a little bit about this is how many people like guessed in a southern part like this. Maybe this is just a skill issue on my end for not knowing why so many people guessed like a little bit further south and didn't just do the brain dead strat like I did of putting it like close to where it says Los Angeles. But whatever the case, yeah, a ton of people getting the right area. Round 3, the New Jersey plate one. Yeah, it looks like there were only 4 people who guessed somewhere not called New Jersey. And yeah, the guesses throughout the state, they were kind of all over the place. Round 4. This one was Hawaii. Most people getting Oahu. Yeah. Did we have any 5Ks, actually? Yes, we had one 5K. And I want to say this was the only 5K of the entire game, actually, the entire seed. And round 5. Right, so this was the only one that wasn't really a freebie. I don't want to say the other ones were all freebies per se, but the average score for all the first 4 rounds was over 4K. So by that logic, yeah, the first 4 rounds were all fairly easy. Round 5, this was just like some mountains and a no front plate. Despite the fact that there were seemingly no real clues, a lot of people kind of guessed in the same general region. I guess because it's like, it kind of felt like the South, and it was Appalachian Mountains, so by that logic, it kind of has to be in that small region right there. But it also totally makes sense that we would see guesses a bit further north, since, you know, the Appalachian Mountains kind of stretch pretty far. So here's the stats overview for week 2, and right off the bat, something kind of funny. The 4 teams that won this week were the 4 teams that won last week. That means that every single team in the East is 2-0, and every single team in the West is 0-2. And that means that 2 0-2 teams are currently in the playoffs. But yeah, so despite not winning a game so far, Mile High Express, number 1 in the Western Conference. So that's pretty cool. We got close this week at least. Only lost by about 5K. And we were only 2 points behind. Dude, can you imagine if it was Mile High Express versus Minnesota this week? Losing by literally 2 points? That would have been insane. Who do we play next week? Sacramento, okay. We play Minnesota week 4. Oh, right, so week 3, is it all in conference? It might be all in conference, so the standings are not going to stay how they are currently. Someone in the East is going to have to lose, someone in the West is going to win. But yeah, so this is definitely an easier week than usual, because again, yeah, the average score of the first 4 rounds was all over 4K. The average score of round 4 in particular was like 4.7, which is kind of funny. Here's also a quick overview of the weekly leaders. I just kind of threw this together. It's not the most organized thing in the world, but so these are obviously the top 10 scores of the week and the results. These are their scores relative to average. I haven't fully set this up yet. This is just a thought that came to my mind that I thought I'd throw together. And here's like the overall individual leaders. So Pittsburgh has 2 Pittsburgh and Green Bay both have 2 in the top 6. Green Bay having 2 in the top 3. And yeah, you can clearly see that. In fact, I should probably color code this, but I'll do that in a minute. That like week 2 was clearly like a lot easier than week 1. The average score was 4,000 points more, and I haven't done week 3 yet, but I am under the impression, based on what people are saying in the chat, that it's going to be even easier. Which, you know, on the one hand, it's nice that it's easy. On the other hand, I feel like that's gonna make me even more nervous because I have no excuse for screwing up. Yeah, week 3, I'll do that either later tonight or tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, I guess that's it from me for now, though. So see you all next week.